This happens to be an issue I care very much about. And we have two people who were going to speak about it, and they really know their stuff. And there's even an artistic twist in all of this. It's more than just an issue. I want you to meet a great musician, and I'll describe just how great a musician he is. Greyson Chance is a guy who blew up the charts when he was 12 years old. Now he's 21, and now there's a whole other, almost different Greyson Chance coming forward with some very passionate and powerful music. So welcome, Greyson. And to Greyson's right is Tiny. Tiny is not her given name. Yvonne is your given name, but you're known as Tiny Decory.
Yes.
And you're with the Lakota tribe, the Lakota people who are there in North and South Dakota, but South Dakota in this case. And it's a pleasure to have you here as well.
Thank you.
Because this song that you've come up with, I mean, it's remarkable, Greyson. It's a powerful offering, but it was inspired by what's going on with the Lakota people.
Yeah, very much so. Well, I mean, I had written this song a bit before I had ever really heard of the Lakota or Pine Ridge Reservation, but it was a song for me about sort of self-empowerment and, you know, sort of finding your inner spirit. You know, finding that enduring power within yourself. And as I became more familiar, started talking to Tiny a bit more, we found this middle ground, this correlation between the two. And I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to visit Pine Ridge and to shoot this music video and hopefully help out with the Bear projects and help out on the ground. And
that's cool. That I didn't realize that it already began, but that the Lakota part of this gave it a certain momentum and altitude and a sense in your mind of significance in a way.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, and this is about the spirit of the Lakota tribe, and I am struck by the fact that it was a tribe. I think typically it's always been associated through time historically as a people very close to the land. I know that. And like so many Native Americans, they've been completely screwed over by the colonial settlers. We call the people who settled the West settlers. The truth is they were genocidal killers who were trying to destroy the American Indians, the Native Americans. I'm wondering what the state of things is now, and then how that intersects with some of the work that Greyson's doing.
You're right. And we talk about the land, how the land was illegally taken, and how a lot of our warriors, our tribal members were killed on that land. And then we were put on reservations, and as years progressed, the reservations got smaller and smaller. And you mentioned, you know, warm us with the blanket. It just so happened that the blanket that they tried to warm us with, the government, was full of smallpox. So they, let's continue to wipe them completely from the face of the earth. So all of the Black Hills, where Mount Rushmore is, and Crazy Horse Mountain, all of that belongs to the Lakota people. The Great Sioux Nation. And we're never going to get that back because the government has put $1 billion plus dollars into an account, and they want us to take that. But we are saying the Black Hills are not for sale. They're sacred to us. A lot of our people shed their blood, the blood of our people in the Black Hills.
There were pacts made with the Native peoples saying that this land is going to remain your land.
Yes.
As long as you allow safe passage, and there's a bunch of other stuff, but they were not going to touch the land because they knew how important that was Lakota. What you're saying is, of course, and you only need to know what's going on in the Dakotas to know that there's strip mining and there is fracking, and obviously the land is being exploited in every possible way. But what you're suggesting is they want the people to take that money that they put aside so that they can just officially have their run of it.
Yes, exactly. And with the gold being discovered, that caused the second treaty to be signed. And that's what brought Custer in, the gold discovered in the Black Hills, pushing our people further and further onto reservations, making them smaller. And it's not for sale. The Black Hills are not for sale.
But make no mistake about it, this is all about destroying those people. So now to today, and Greyson, what we see in your video and in your powerful music, and how it's elevating what's going on there. What's happening now in the world of the Lakota?
Well, I was originally sort of taken aback when I first started to hear this story. The director of our video, Bobby Hannaford, who was a friend of mine, had worked on a project in Pine Ridge a couple years before we had spoken. And he told me about this community, and you know, naively, I had never heard of the Lakota. I didn't know where Pine Ridge was in South Dakota. And so I came into it as I think a lot of people do, you know, not knowing a lot of information. And immediately I was taken aback by these statistics that surround the reservation. There is a very, very high poverty rate. Unemployment rate on the reservation is around 90%. Youth suicide rates in Pine Ridge are 5 times higher than the national average. All these statistics, I was really taken aback, and I felt an immediate urge to want to go there, to talk to the people, and to see if there was any way that I could help. And what I found in talking to Tiny is, you know, you have this community where, of course, they're facing so much hardship, so much difficulty. But something that she told me, she said, when people come with cameras here, they only want to show the bad. They never want to show the spirit of these people. The Lakota are survivors. That's all they know how to do. They take care of each other, and they have for so many years, and they're continuing to do this now. And so when we visited South Dakota, of course, the human emotion at first is to see the poverty, to see all of the problems, and feel a bit of a burden. You feel a bit of a guilt. You feel a sadness. But upon talking to the people, you see these smiles. You see, hey, how are you doing? You know, this is my family. This is all these sorts of things. And I think that's what is great about this video is you're able to immerse yourself into the scenery, into the setting, but the last minute of the video, you see sort of this spirit within.
Yeah, you see the smiling faces of the kids.
Yes.
Some of whom you've seen earlier in the video. Well, we have a link to the music, so if you want to see the entire video. But anyway, those images, while powerful, you're right, they tell a story. They tell a story of people confronting serious challenges, but then at the end, you see the spirit sort of winning. And again, it's just a video, it's just a moment, it's just a pastiche, you know, but it does tell a story. That is the situation with Lakota. These are serious challenges that you face.
Yes, serious challenges. Every day, you know, you have grandmothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, they're vying for the positions, they want to work. And you go up against a 30-year-old, a 15-year-old wanting to work at Pizza Hut. Well, they want to work too because they have to continue to put food on the table.
And the unemployment rate is
89%.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
And when people get off the reservation, off the native protected area, they seldom come back. I'm told, or certainly the percentage is pretty low. Those who return.
And now we're pushing our young people education. An educated Native man, Native woman is a dangerous Native person, and that's what we're pushing, education. And with our local colleges, we're able to see a little bit of them coming back. And you know, they get educated and they think or they feel I can help the reservation from afar. Just like Greyson here. When I first met him, I knew nothing about him, and everybody's telling me, Google him, Google him. I didn't want to Google him because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was a star at 12. And then I felt his compassion, and I felt his sincerity, and the honesty, and the respect. And he was a very humble young man. The same things that we raise our Lakota children to have, the Wo Lakota values, he has in him. And so we said, hey, let's try it. Because yeah, they come in with cameras, and they go right for the bad of the reservation. And,
sure, they have a story that they want to tell. Here you wanted a more complete picture. There is the Bear Project is where the funds, all the monies that this video and this music gets is all going to this Bear Project.
Yes.
Give folks a sense of what that's about.
Well, and it's Tiny's
organization.
I'll maybe talk about my experience with it. And yes, you bring up a good point, and something we wanted to really hammer in when people watch the video is every cent that's monetized from the video is going directly to the Bear Project. And Tiny, alongside her colleague Eileen, they run this organization in the basement of the post office in Pine Ridge, which is a big space. And, you know, there are many things that I think that you could call the Bear Project, but I think community involvement, community leaders, these guys are calling kids who might be at-risk youth, who might have had past attempts of suicide. They're calling them every day saying, hey, how are you doing? You know, what's going on? They're collecting supplies for this summer when kids were out of school. It was Tiny's mission. We talked about this in June. You said we have a hard summer coming up. We're trying to collect as many funds as we can. So in this basement, in this post office, they have clothes, they have things that we just consider second nature: deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, food, all these sorts of things, books that kids can read, music. And these two women, and through the Bear Project, they're helping in every aspect that you could possibly think of on this reservation, because that's what they know, and that's all they know how to do, is take care of their community.
The Bear Project has a website. You can find it, Google the Bear Project, but you can also do this. Put this precise URL in, bearproject.net/how-you-can-help. And the Bear Project sounds like the kind of grassroots organization that could really make a difference with the Lakota. I honestly could talk to both of you for a long time. I have been to Lakota country. I was very moved by the plight of the people, and it's really an honor to have you here. So
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for having us.
Good luck. Best name, by the way, Greyson Chance, and it's real. That's his real name. So more on that for his next visit.
Like what you see? I hope so, thank you. So click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from Rebel HQ.